Hello there. Welcome to another recording. I'm going to refer to myself perhaps as Drunkman. Um, just in an attempt to create some sort of a theme. And I figure today's episode is going to be about how the fuck I got here. Here being this sort of strange place where, be honest, at 29, it's not where I wanted to be. Um, Preface. My family has dealt with alcoholism and addiction, so inevitably there was a lot of potential that I might have ended up in the same space and a part of that mess. So that's no fault of their own. However, the nicest part about them and my family was their honesty and open willingness for me to discuss any of this should it have ever been present. The issue was on my own end where I did not discuss any of it, which caused a lot of the problems, etc., etc. So first and foremost, I think that one of the biggest things that led me to where I am today, I would say, is probably um, being a loner for the most part. Wasn't a benefactor for me not doing this. And I would also say that my ability to communicate with friends wasn't really good. I progressively kind of just got more and more alone, and truth be told, when you just stop interacting with people, they just stop interacting with you. Um, it's a it's a thing that we have to really recognize and be cognizant of, because I think that there are people out there that aren't capable of reaching out that well. I'm one of them. It's just an aspect of my life. I am far more willing to suffer in certain ways than to try to communicate well. And so, throughout that problematic disposition, eventually, while I may have been feeling lonely and wanting to interact with people, it just became easier to do nothing, and then I started drinking on my own or doing several other things that caused, the problems. Um, but yeah, I would say that that's one of the biggest things that led me to where I am today is just this unfortunate lack of trust in humans around me. Um, which is also unfortunate. I think we have to genuinely recognize that the human condition is exactly what it is. We're all here at the end of the day, and for some of us, it is more difficult than others, and there has to be a recognition about it's not necessarily about, bringing yourself down or finding a way to bring someone else up, but it's just about recognizing that planes of existence just fucking exist, and we shouldn't sit there and pretend that those are strict rules that which we have to interact with. You know what I mean? Like, I find it ludicrous as an example. That there are people that think that someone shouldn't talk to a plumber or perhaps a person that deals as a garbage man, simply because of what they do in society as their job. I think that's very incorrect to say that someone who takes on these jobs is somehow lesser of a person than someone who takes on a job, let's say, working in a human resources department in a larger company, or who perhaps works in finances, etc., etc. I think at the end of the day, it would be far more representational for all of us to accept that we're all humans, and where we work is also extremely important, right? Like, the lawyer that needs to get their toilet fixed, what's the lawyer going to do? Are they going to call a doctor because they don't want to deal with a plumber? Like, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? On that, in that regard. So, yeah. all that aside, though, I think one of the other biggest faults for myself and how I ended up kind of in this space is just I accepted so much of this idea that I have a lack of control. And how tainted is that? I mean, I'm the one that chooses to do everything. When I was a child, I used to relish in that. I used to relish in this idea that I choose to do everything. And then somehow, as time got older and things progressed, I felt kind of ashamed of how I did everything. And that ashamedness, it's led me to be so self-deprecating that I feel like I can't or I don't even deserve to try to do anything because I'll just fuck it up, which is not ideal, you know. Anybody that has those feelings, I feel for you, but the truth is that's an unfortunate, probably one of the best signs of a form of trauma. I mean, I've never been diagnosed with anything, but clearly that has to be pretty traumatic for anybody to default to an idea where they're insignificant, you know, or where it's easier for us to go and leave a situation than to try to understand or be understood. Those are also things that we have to really understand and recognize that we have to get over and see the true potential dangers within that, right? If you choose to enter a situation and someone might not be understanding you, and sure, that is difficult, that is problematic, but what I would say is you would have to really seek it through. Take a very slow, deliberate effort and understand that clearly if you're not being understood, you're not being understood. And you also have to understand that you can't explain yourself the same way and expect a person to understand you either. So, I mean, there's that. I don't know why the hell I even mentioned that. This is all supposed to be about how the hell I got here. And a lot of it is just lacking a lot of these certain skills, to be honest. I guess that's what I'm trying to describe. And perhaps some other people are lacking certain skills, and so you can work on them better and focus. Um, Despite a lot of the problems that have led me here, there are also benefits that I have that have prevented certain things. I do very much care about myself as much as I can, but I guess everybody is capable of that on their own, and they try to do their best as well with that. So, I guess reiterating everything, just make sure that you reach out. Yeah, don't spend all your time alone, and that you focus. I gotta focus. I mean, truth be told, as an example of how messed up everything is, quite drunk. And, I know exactly where I'm going after this. Video's made. Even if I upload it or don't, I know exactly what'll happen. Just figured before I blacked out and try to talk. Feel like I feel like there's a lot in me that I could offer if I didn't waste it all every single day. But I do, unfortunately. So with that all being said, keep it real. And yeah. Bye.